Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Dungeon Dive and our Let's Play series of Dungeon Degenerates, the Hand of Doom. Alright, quick disclaimer, never use my videos as a way to learn to play and to learn the rules. Now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at what's going on. So here's my party right now. My party consists of the Brawler and the Vermin Hunter. The Brawler, she is the leader of my party because she has a morale of 6 and the Vermin Hunter she has a morale of 8 and the Vermin Hunter has a morale of 6. Here are my character sheets over here showing how much gold I have, XP, luck, and how many wounds I have and my maximum number of hit points. These are what I have equipped, my skills, and my weaknesses. Okay, so the goal of this mission is to turn one of these settlements, these spaces here with the green circle, either at Gutfish Ford or the Stone Circle, is to raise the town level to 4 and establish that as my base. I could also do that here at the Fishmonger Camp. However, the Fishmonger Camp is in a danger level. Danger levels go down and then town levels go up, okay? So it's gonna be really hard to get this to a town level of 4. These are not that far from 4 already. They're at 2. And there's a number of ways we can do that. Mainly, well, the first way is we can invest in the town. I can stay in this town and I can invest 20 gold into that town, and that'll raise the level by 1. Right now, my Vermin Hunter has 21 gold because I sold a ton of stuff at the end of my last mission. So I'm thinking that that's definitely going to be one of the ways that we're going to do that. Hopefully I don't lose gold before I do that, because I'm not sure at which place I'm going to invest yet. Another way we can do that is we can go to these spaces that are marked with these clue icons, clue tokens, and we can have encounters there, and we can lower the danger level of those spaces. And as soon as one of those spaces is lowered to a danger level of 2 or less, we can raise the town level of the corresponding settlement. So I realized that this adventure really is maybe not the best one to show on camera. Maybe because it's not so much of a big questing adventure where we're going to be traveling all over the map. This is more of a maintenance mission to where we're just kind of basically going to be going around in this little area here, looking for encounters that we can beating monsters, making the area safer to make our settlement safer. Now, one of my favorite things about Dungeon Degenerates is the lore and the world that these guys have created. Unbelievably, this is their first game that they've ever made, and already this game has some of the coolest lore I've ever read. I mean, this is like Games Workshop level of background. This world feels lived in. Every single corner of this map has words written about it, has stories and backgrounds about the characters. And the creators, Goblinko, they have released these lore books. They've released a book for every major territory and a bestiary for the creatures that occupy that territory. So as we play through it, I'm just going to read through some of the lore so we can so you guys can get a little bit of flavor about what's going on. So since we're starting in the Stone Circle, let's go ahead and read a little bit about the Stone Circle. The Stone Circle is known to the Bog-Gooters as Begunka Hinge, an ancient arrangement of massive menhirs created so far back in the fogs of history it is unknown who built it or why. What is known is that the Stone Circle is associated with a massive, mysterious energy that surges between worlds, a focal point of magical forces where the spirits cross over into the realm of the living. The energies of the hinge warp the minds and bodies of those who stay there for an extended period of time, and episodes of possession by lurking spirits are not uncommon. These possessed Begunka slaves are controlled by an unseen hand from some terrifying dimension and guard the stone circle from outsiders. Okay, so it sounds like a good place for us to lay low. If we can, garner the favor of the people at the stone circle, they might protect us. Overgrown with moss and marsh vines, the stones stand amidst the tents and mud huts of a small marshland community of witches and weirdos. Bogaguters gather there to worship at the hinge and take shelter in the mystical protection it provides from the creatures of the swamp who fear its otherworldly power. The circle of warlocks who watch over the swamp celebrate their Gutter holy days and hold council at the hinge, and this is the only form of governance to be found in the rudimentary and remote marshland community. All right, so now you know a little bit about the stone circle. And I think it sounds like a good place. I think it sounds like a place that these two degenerates, these two criminal women on the run from the law would want to find some protection. However, fate might lead them up to Gutfish Ford because that area might be more welcoming to them. We don't know yet. So the first thing we have to do is the first sequence of play is we have a map phase, a danger phase, and then an encounter phase. Okay, during the map phase, our party leader, anytime a group of characters are together, they form a party, if you want them to. They can split off, but we're going to keep them together. So we have to choose if we're going to be bold or cautious. Bold and cautious are two different ways we can travel throughout the map. Okay, these kind of like yellow-brown areas are considered paths. As long as they're not explored, they're considered a secret path, and it takes longer to travel those than it does one of these different colored roads. So right now we're going to be moving pretty slowly through this area. So I'm going to keep myself in bold stance. One of the other things you can do is in bold or cautious. In bold, if you're going to have an encounter, you can make it more likely to encounter a monster. In cautious, you can make it more likely to avoid a monster. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say that our party is in bold stance. And we're going to move one space onto this path. Okay. So now that we've done the map action phase, we go to the danger phase. In the danger phase, we draw a danger card. And then we do what it says. So this danger card. Stunted vile creatures arm themselves and muster for war in the filthy stone halls of the Goblin Fortress. The first thing we do is we raise the level of the danger level of the space that it says. In this case, it is the Goblin Fortress. So the Goblin Fortress is at 5, and we're going to raise that to 6. Now 6 is the highest danger level you can have. Anytime that you raise a danger level above 6, you actually add a token to the Doom track. And every time you do that, the Hand of Doom comes out to a space and starts laying waste and destroying and corrupting the land. Well, even more than it is already corrupted. So that's one of the threats that we have to manage throughout the campaign, because the danger levels and the town levels and the law level, those are all persistent between missions. So that is an overall threat, something that we have to look out for. And there are quite a few places that are getting pretty dangerous. So I have a feeling that the Hand of Doom is going to come out sometime during this mission. Okay, so the next thing we do is we take a look at the number here. Now this little noose sign means it's a law. If we were in a law space with a law icon, we would look to draw a law encounter, but we are not. We are out in the open, out in the wilderness. So we just look at the number, which is a 6, and we compare it to the danger level of the area we are in. Now our path does not have a number associated with it, and so we look at the general area, which in this case is the rotting swamps. The rotting swamps are at a danger level of 3. If the danger level of the danger card is equal to or below the danger level of the space, then you have an encounter. In this case, we're good. We do not have an encounter, and so that danger phase is over. So we don't have an encounter phase, and so now we go back to the map action phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep us in bold, and I'm going to have us rest here at this path. And the reason is I'm going to explore this path. So that way it becomes an explored path, which allows me to travel quicker back and forth from the areas. And the way you do that is one character per space per turn can do a perception check. Perception 6 or 8. So I'm going to have the Vermin Hunter do it because she's better at perception. I roll 2 dice, and I have to roll equal or less than my perception. Ooh, an 8, barely. Okay, so she successfully explored that area, or this path that we're on. So now I'm going to take this perception token, and I'm just going to put that on that path, which that means that that path is now explored. So now when I do a force march, a bold move through that path, I can actually go from this space to this space, or back. It'll make it easier for me to get back to the stone circle if that's where I need to get back to. So that was my map action phase. We are in bold stance, and now the danger phase. The air feels thick and your hair stands on end. Some devilry is afoot. Okay, so there is no space here that I'm supposed to raise. This is the reshuffle the danger deck card. So I just look at the number of 5. Our danger level right now is 4, so we're good. So now I'm just going to take the danger deck and I'm going to reshuffle it. So not too bad because I only had 1 card out. All right, so the danger deck has been shuffled, and that's going to go back there. Again, no encounter. All right, so now we're going to move up to the Sunken Village. Now the Sunken Village is one of the areas that if we have an encounter here, actually our danger level at the last one was actually a 3 from the Rotting Swamp. Now we're in the Sunken Village with a danger level of 4. If we can get this down to 2, we can raise the level of the stone circle to 3. So we moved up there in a bold stance. And now we're going to draw our next danger card. Tower Island. Hulking inhuman shapes are spotted shambling across the shore of Tower Island. Okay, so Tower Island is here. That's at 4, so we're going to raise the danger level of that to 5. The Sunken Village. We look at this, and it is a 2. And we're at a 4 right now. Now, I do want to confirm one thing about that law symbol that is on the card. I haven't had to do too much stuff with the law yet, so I just want to make sure that we do that right. If you are in a law space and draw a danger card with the law icon, first compare it to the bounty level. Okay, we are not in a law space. But this danger level is 2. We're at a danger level of 4, so we are going to have an encounter. So now we go down here and we see how many people are in our party. That's 2 people in our party, and we're going to draw 1 encounter or monster from the lowlands. So not too bad. That's not a very dangerous card. So we're going to draw our wetland monster. And let's see who we're going to be facing here. The bird horror. It's a filth. It's worth 2 experience if we kill it. It's worth 1 gold. Okay, it targets our adventurer with the lowest perception. It attacks for 5. It has fury, 0 armor, and has 8 health. Let's go over to our characters here. And so it's going to target the adventurer with the lowest perception. which that would be the Brawler. So we're going to put the bird horror right there. Now it has a ability called Fury. So let's see what Fury does. There are a lot of different abilities that the monsters have in this game. And until you memorize them all, which I have not, I highly suggest just looking up each one here in the book. They're in alphabetical order. I do recommend looking at them in the book rather than the back cover, because I have noticed that the back cover does omit some important information. So Fury. While this monster has any wounds on it, it gains a +1 attack. If a number is indicated, the monster gains that much attack. So if he's wounded at all, he's going to gain a +1 attack, and he's going to go to 6. So we are now in combat. We are now in the encounter phase, in combat. So here's what's going to happen. Our Degenerates can activate in perception order. So it'll be the hunter first. And we can take one quick action before or after our action, and then we can take one attack action. So she has a Find Weakness. This is a quick action. This is a skill that she mastered in the last adventure. As a quick action, I can make a perception test. If you pass, attach this card to a target monster. Place this card on that monster's card. All attacks inflict +1 damage against the attached. So she's going to scan the bird horn. She's going to find a chink in its armor, in its carapace, for us to attack and do more damage to. So her perception is 8, so I have to roll an 8 or less. There it is again, an 8, and getting lucky with those high rolls there. Okay, so she has found the bird horror's weakness. Now, anytime that I attack this creature, I'm going to do +1 damage to it, all of my adventurers. So now it's time for the Vermin Hunter to decide if she's going to go into assault or guard stance. Because she is not being targeted by a creature, she doesn't need to block. She doesn't need to play defensively right now. So she's going to go full-on assault. So all attacking and blocking is done in a single die roll. But since she doesn't have to block, I don't have to roll the block dice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare an attack, and I'm going to use my Rat Spike. That has a reach attack. There are 3 different ranges for attacks. There's melee, reach, and ranged. Those don't really do anything until they trigger some kind of other ability. So right now this is just a regular attack, and it's based off my agility. And attacks with this item inflict +1 damage against swarms. The bird horror is a filth, not a swarm. And she also has combat reflexes, which gives her a +1 agility. So right now my agility is 9. So I need to roll 9 or less on my attack die. And then I'm also rolling this purple die, which is a power die. And that just gives us a chance of doing more damage. So let's see here. All right, so there's a 4. So that is under. And then a 4 on the power die. So the way we determine damage is if you roll a successful attack, you can take your highest die, and that's your damage that you do. Well, in this case, both mine were 2. However, my power die was a 4. So I can use that 4 as my damage. So I do 4 damage to the bird horror. It does not attack me because it is not targeting me. So the bird horror is half dead. Oh, actually, +1 for that. So it's actually at 5 damage. Okay, so that's really good. So now it's time for my brawler. My brawler is actually going to go into guard stance. Now guard stance lets me use my power dice to guard rather than to attack. I keep bumping these stat things. That's the only thing I think I dislike about this game, is it's very easy to lose track of where you're at if you accidentally bump these. Hopefully I am not moving these around wrong. We'll have to check that. Now I'm rolling the green dice and the red die. The red dice is attack, the green is for defense. So I'm in guard stance, And I'm going to take my attack action when I'm in guard stance is an agility attack. Agility is also for dodging. So right now I'm going to check both of my attack and dodge rolls against an 8. Okay, so my dodge was 4. 6 is under 8, so that is a good dodge. My attack is 7, which is under 8, which means I hit. And what was that? That was at 2. I instantly knocked it. And my power die goes towards my guard since I was in the guard stance. So I successfully guarded, and I can take my top die roll to block against the damage. So right now, he is doing 5 plus his fury, 6 damage to me. I block 4 of it, so I take 2 hits. Okay, now I hit because I rolled under my agility, and my highest die roll is 5. So I do 5 damage to it, killing it. All right, so the Find Weakness skill goes back to the Vermin Hunter. And now this becomes a trophy. And the Brawler gets 2 XP, so up to 9 XP, and 1 gold. And then I do a loot roll. I look at the XP and I roll 1 die. If I roll equal to or less than that value, I can draw a loot card. So I'm looking for a 1 or a 2. A 4. Okay, so no loot. So we're just going to discard this, put it in face up behind the monster deck there. Right up there. So that was our first encounter. And now since we won an encounter at this space, we lower the danger level. So the danger level there is down to 3. You can only lower the danger level once per game turn. So if we somehow had another encounter there, I couldn't have another encounter there and then have a lower it to 2 right away. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Let's see here. So we're at the top of the action. We're at the action or the map action phase. I think we'll do one more turn here. And I'm going to go ahead and stay in bold. And I'm going to move up to this path here. So we are now in the Burning Lakes region, which is at a danger level of 4. So I'm going to draw my danger card. The mystical energies of the void flow and herald the approach of the malevolent invaders from beyond. Each space with a void gate raises its danger level. Okay, there's only one void gate here, and that is at Dusk Falls. Dusk Falls is actually associated with Tomb Lake, I believe. Let me double check that. Let's see here. Dusk Falls is located at Tomb Lake. So Tomb Lake is now going to go up to 6. And then now we look at the icons here. We have a metaphysical space or a non-metaphysical space. We are in a non-metaphysical, actually the Burning Lakes is a metaphysical and it's in peril. So you can see these icons here. Metaphysical, peril. Any space that is perilous means that if you rest there, you cannot gain back your, you cannot gain health back. So these are very dangerous places. So we are in a metaphysical place. And so the danger level is 1. And our danger level is 4. Okay, so we are going to have an encounter. I just want to double check to see if there's anything special about a metaphysical encounter. I don't think there is, because I don't think I've encountered one of those before. Let's see here. Oh, that was a void gate counter. The maze. Yeah, I think we're okay on that front. So you can check here. Actually, yeah, that was not a metaphysical icon on the map. That just means that you were outside. So we were in an unmetaphysical space. for a danger value of 3, which is still less than 4. So we're still going to have an encounter. So that means, yeah, that little symbol there is just your outside, and that is perilous. So let's check our encounters. So we look at here. Now if we have a little book here, that means that we're going to have a non-combat encounter. We draw that for the Badlands. We're actually in the Badlands now. Okay, Badland encounter. And we look to see if it says play immediately. If we are in a perilous space or a non-perilous space. We are actually in a perilous space. It doesn't say play immediately. So we're going to put that down for a minute. And then we're going to look here. We have 2 adventurers in our party. So we're going to draw 3 monsters. Oh boy, this this could be really bad here. So 1, 2, 3. So we have the Morbad Gomper, Colt, Demon, Vermin. Okay, it infects us and it has slime. It has no arrival ability, and it attacks the adventurer with the lowest constitution, which is the Vermin Hunter. And then we have the Goblin Dog. It's a filth and it's goblin. It has no arrival abilities. It pursues if we're in the bold stance. We are in the bold stance. So that means that we cannot escape from this creature. It attacks the adventurer with the lowest agility. Both of our agilities are 8. So I'm going to hold off before I choose which one I want to attack. And then we have a Goblin Egg. The Goblin Egg does not attack any of us. It explodes and it summons and it has venom. Okay, so what this means is like it's not going to target us and it's not going to do any damage to us. However, if it is alive after its first round, it's going to summon a creature. When we kill it, it's going to explode, doing damage to everything in this space, which means both of our adventurers and any monsters there. And then if we take any damage, it's going to do the venom effect, which I think that means we become poisonous. So this card, since it's not targeting anybody, it's actually just kind of out here. So let's go ahead and have the Goblin Dog target the Brawler. So we have the Morbad Gomper targeting the Vermin Hunter, and we have the Goblin Dog targeting the Brawler. And then we have this mysterious Badland encounter to explore once we've dealt with these monsters. And I think we're going to call it there for this time. I hope you guys have liked this video. Let's see. Let me maybe we'll end with a little story here. So here's like the other books that they've created. So we have the Badlands and Beyond. Let's see if we can find something cool to read in the Badlands. Maybe we'll just read the little some kind of a, oh man, maybe this is where the Brawler used to be a blood sport fighter down here. The Badlands. The Badlands are a vast, wind-blown and ash-choked expanse of dunes dotted with decaying ruins and shrouded in billowing clouds of toxic vapor. Hideous goblin hordes make their fetid dung layers here amongst the old stone fortifications of the Verstreich, whose people fled this harsh land long ago, leaving only the feral Udlander savages and the voracious beasts of the wasteland to combat the goblin menace. Meanwhile, with demonic fingers clad in blackened gauntlets, the Morbad legions claw their way up from the deep, fixing their baleful crimson eyes on the heart of the Verstreich. So yeah, the Badlands are not a nice place to be. I think we found that out quite quickly, given the fact that we are going to have to face 3 different monsters. And we will face those monsters on our next video. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.